What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be going over the patch notes for the Blade and Ghoul update. This is covering actually some pretty important stuff, especially the weapon cost reductions. There's some minor changes here and there. I'm really going to be covering the most relevant stuff. There are a few things I'll leave out just for the sake of the length of the video. If you want to read the whole patch notes, I will leave a link in the description. You can check that out. But anyways, let's jump into the video and cover these new patch note changes. The first thing I want to talk about is actually the reduction to the amount of Oblivion fragments you need to purchase the unrefined bracelet. This is a really great change because right now you need 24, and considering Throne of Oblivion is a weekly lockout, this is going to take months to get this many unless you buy like a ton of resets, which is not really optional for a lot of players. Now with the update, you actually are going to only need 8 Oblivion fragments and 6 Elder Scales. Now I really like this change better because this is way less Oblivion fragments, which is way more reasonable because the weekly lockout is really annoying. So if you only need 8 of them, it's not so bad. And the Elder Scales are actually kind of hard to get because people bid them pretty high. But the nice thing is this is way more farmable than having a weekly lockout because you can do the Cathedral Cliffs dungeon as much as you want every single day. So I feel like this is a much more reasonable change and a lot more players will get that unrefined bracelet much quicker. Also, a really cool thing that NC West did is if you actually bought the bracelet before the update, you get 16 Oblivion fragments returned to you so you can use them for pet gems or any other item you wish. Now the next change is another important one. What they're going to be adding is enlightened jewels and elements to the game. Now these are going to be cheaper versions than the legendary elements and jewels we have right now. So they'll cost 1 gold and 1 Elysium crystal for the jewel, and 1 gold and 1 moonstone crystal for the element. So they're going to be way cheaper than the element and jewels we have now. The only catch is you can really only use these for the lower gear accessories. So here's the actual full list of all the equipment items you can use for the enlightened jewels and elements. So the weapons are obviously the lower tiers: Raven, Aranzu, Riftwatch, Dawnforge, so on. Necklaces like the BT necklace, earring, Skybreak, which is the BT earrings. So anything that's high tier, like the TT earrings or Grand Celestial or Thornbreaker, anything like that, you can't use these jewel and elements for. But for anything that's lower tier, this is really awesome because it's going to make it much cheaper to use those jewels and elements on your weapon and accessories. Also in the Dragon Express, they're going to add an option so you can trade in your current legendary elements and jewels you have right now to get the new enlightened version. So for example, if you have 1 legendary element, you can trade it in for 3 enlightened elements, or if you have 1 legendary jewel, you can trade it in for 3 enlightened jewels. So this is a cool exchange system, and you definitely could get a lot of these. Now this next change is something they didn't really give too many details on, but I want to at least mention it to the people who play it and might care. But Shackle Isles is going to be removed from the game, aka the big battle royale mode with the buffs, and it's like the balanced gear. It was actually pretty fun for quite a while, but I feel like it got old pretty quickly. Also, the rewards weren't super good. But yeah, unfortunately they stated they're going to be closing it until further notice. They said we're working on improvements for this content and will provide details on the changes at a later date. So maybe they'll bring it back for like a special event in like a year or two, but I don't think it's going to be coming back anytime soon. It's unfortunate for the people that enjoyed it. I do like that they had more balanced PvP modes. I feel like they should keep doing content like that, so it's sad that it's going to be removed from the game. But I just feel like at this point with Blade Soul's population, there really wasn't enough players to support it. It needed like 50 players or something, and it just wasn't enough people queuing for it. So it really made sense that they're removing it. Also, at the time that they released this mode is when all the hype was around Fortnite and everyone was trying to copy the Battle Royale game mode. You saw in Call of Duty, you saw in Black Desert Online, another MMORPG. Blade Soul did the same thing, and funny enough, Black Desert actually removed their Battle Royale mode too. So I feel like it just doesn't really work well in MMORPGs in general. So it really was only a matter of time before they removed it. But, again, unfortunate, but it's going to be gone for basically forever. Now we're going to begin to the good part. This is the weapon cost reductions. Now I will say right away, these reductions are going to be really great for new players, so I definitely can be happy about it. There are a few things I want to mention later that are kind of weird and a little annoyed about, but overall this is really great, and I'm really happy that they're doing this because we need to help the new players gear up quicker. There's no reason someone should be stuck at like Raven weapon when we're going into 2020 a Blade Soul. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm really glad they're doing these cost reductions. So for example, Raven stage 1 to Raven stage 9. So the really good thing about this is they really reduce the amount of crystals you need to upgrade the Raven weapon. And I really like this a lot because you need crystals for literally every equipment item. It's so necessary to have these. So making it less cheaper for these old weapons is really awesome. So number one, like right here, Soulstone crystals used to be 140 for the stages. Now it's down to 44. Moonstone crystal is down to only like 13 instead of 40 for each stage. these are really good cost reductions, and it's going to save new players a lot of crystals, which is really awesome. They will be increasing some of the transformation stones. So for example, you have to spend a little bit more gold, but really these are only 12 to 15 gold a piece. So I feel like this is a fine trade for the amount of crystals you're going to be saving with these cost reductions. Even the Elysian crystals getting reduced a good amount. Now, one thing I really want to highlight, this is a really big reduction. I'm really happy about this. So if you're at Raven stage 9 and you go to Ranzu 3, majority of the classes do that, except like Summoner and Destroyer. A few classes don't, but majority do. They really reduce this a lot. So it used to cost 1 premium transformation stone. Now you only need the transformation stones, which are way cheaper, 100 less gold, only 1 Imperial Spirit Stone down from 2, and instead of needing 8 High Queen Hearts to go to Ranzu 3, you now need 0. This is a pretty big change because the hearts are actually pretty hard to get for a new player. Great change right there. Same thing if you're the other classes. If you want to go Raven Stage 9 to Xyld or Raven Stage 9 to Storm Dragon, these are going to be heavy cost reduction too. Premium Transformation Stone, they're removing those, so you don't need those anymore. Going to be reducing the crystals again, less Soulstone crystals, less Moonstone crystals. Overall, just great reductions. Now let's talk about a big one, which is the Ranzu stages 1 through 9. They're going to be reducing all of these too. All the High Queen Hearts are going to get reduced, so this is great because you don't have to waste so much time trying to gather these all up to go to the next Ranzu stage. No longer you're going to need Premium Transformation Stone for any of the stages of Ranzu, which is pretty huge. And let's not forget that we have the Enlightened elements, which are the cheaper version of the legendary elements, so it's going to make it way cheaper to actually upgrade your weapon. And then all the crystals, again, got reduced pretty damn heavy. Like, look how many less Soulstone crystals you need. From 300 down to 100. From 75 Moonstone crystals down to 25. These are big, heavy cost reductions. These are really great. And again, I will leave a link in the description if you want to check out all the changes to the weapons. A few other things I really want to highlight. Grand Celestial weapon stages 1 through 9 are also getting cost reductions, especially to the later stages. These are actually pretty good. So right now, for example, if you want to go from stage 8 to stage 9, it would cost 3 premium transformation stones, now only costs 2, less legendary elements, less soulstone crystals, again, just less crystals overall. So upgrading to these weapon stages are going to cost way less materials, way less gold. These are just overall pretty heavy cost reductions. Now, this is where it gets to the weird and kind of annoyed part that I mentioned earlier on. This part is just, it doesn't really make sense at all. So I was kind of laughing about this earlier. If you want to upgrade from Grand Celestial Stage 9 to Thornbreaker Stage 3, it's going to cost more gold now with this update instead of a cost reduction. So you see right here, you're like, oh, 100 gold less, that's not too bad. But wait, it's going to cost another Premium Transformation Stone. That's another 400 gold. Right now, they're 450 gold on the marketplace. Oh, we're going to need more Onyx scales. Oh my goodness, look at all these crystals we need. We're going to need double the Moonstone crystals, double the Soulstone crystals. This is not a very good cost reduction, NCSoft. I don't know what you're thinking with this one, but we're going to be losing money on this one. So I think they definitely need to go back to the drawing board with this one or do the math over again because this one doesn't work out as a cost reduction. But overall, I will say these cost reductions are great for new players and people trying to gear up old characters. Getting from Raven to Ranzu to even Grand Celestial is easier than it's ever been. And overall, this is probably one of the most friendliest patches we've had all year for the new players. Big weapon cost reductions and kind of a revamp to the jewel and element system. This is really great for new players. I really like this a lot. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll see you guys in the next video very, very soon, and I'm out.